Hi, guys. Today's topic is going to be astro projection. In this video, we're going to talk a little bit about it and what you need to know, why it's important, and essentially, I'm just laying everything out on the line. I don't even want to say that. I'm going to save it to last. But astro projection, whether you realize it or not, astral projection is very powerful and influential in the spiritual realm. Astral projection is basically when your spirit leaves your body and enters the spiritual realm outside of your physical body. So astral projection can be like practiced. Like there are people who actually practice in astral projection to be able to, seek information in the spiritual realm, to be able to do certain things in the spiritual realm, good and bad. But God emphasizes to us divination and stuff like that is what we need to stay away from, because astral projection is dangerous. It is extremely dangerous. And everything that I've learned from astral projection wasn't something that I Googled. It was my real life experiences as to why I'm so knowledgeable about it. It wasn't until after I've been already in it, like maybe 3 years, that I started now doing research about it, because it just didn't sit right and it didn't feel right in my spirit that I was doing it. Now, there are instances where you naturally astral project, meaning you do it without even realizing or having control over doing it. And there are instances where you're practicing in it, where you know how to be able to trigger your body to astral project, and then you do it to be able to enter the spiritual realm. Now, the people who do it to be able to enter the spiritual realm, this is how they interact with spirits, on the demonic side, or even, as people will say, spiritual guides, to be able to relate information back and forth from the spiritual realm to the physical realm. This could be, a person could practice astral projecting because they want to start a business, but they don't know, what they will need to be able to make their business go from here to here really fast. So they enter the spiritual realm to seek information from these spirits and, correspond and relate information back to take into the physical realm. If you're a female and you use the brand Honeypot and you're a believer, a follower of Christ, I urge you to not use that brand, to throw it away, because the founder who made Honeypot for women, if you ever just turn over a package to the soaps, to the pads, if you read her description on how she came up with the brand, she accessed the spiritual realm, got information from a spirit, and brought it into the physical realm to be able to make her brand go from this to being very popular and being able to sell. In the way she did it, she literally tells you in the packages, oh, I was asleep and an ancestor came to me and told me ways that I could be able to X, Y, and Z. Hence, here we are now. She astral projected or practiced in astral projection, got into the spiritual realm, and sought that information to be able to take into the physical realm to use for her products. So unknowingly, if you're using her products, you're now affected in a type of way, because there's that type of witchcraft over her products because of how she essentially got her product in. And to just relate it to something else, a lot of these different churches all over the world are not true and pure churches, because some of these leaders, they only want to be pastors for the money, for the fame. They only want to be pastors for the monetary support, and they call on these spirits, or they access the spiritual realm and make it agreements or come into agreements with these spirits or these demonic attachments and call on them to be able to get that popularity from that spirit. But if they're not feeding that spirit the way that they want to be fed, then they rip it away from them. So that goes into Hollywood. A lot of these celebrities, a lot of them practice in satanic things, and they have to, the number one thing is sacrifice. They offer sacrifices in whatever way. They have to offer blood in order to be able to gain what they want in the physical realm, as far as money, fame, excess. It don't matter if you're in a church setting, if you're a celebrity, whatever it is, a race car, it does not matter. Whatever it is, So, and I'm sorry to tell y'all, but even college, these alpha, all of these sororities, they're offering sacrifices in order to be pledged into these sororities, and that gets carried on with them for the rest of their life, just them not even knowing. So they're wondering why, oh, she's wondering why she keep miscarrying, or why she had a miscarriage, or why this is happening, and or why he can't have children and he want children, and you're offering those sacrifices. And so these people do it. They access the spiritual realm in order to be able to get, insight in the physical realm. And this is something that God tells us literally in the Bible to stay away from. He says, do not consult spiritists, do not consult mediums, do not dive into divination at all. Now, God does bless certain people with these spiritual gifts to be able to protect, his people, and then they're held with a bigger responsibility because they have to use that spiritual gift in a way that is one, pleasing with God, which means they have to be on one accord with him, and it has to be in a way that God sees fit for them to be able to have that spiritual power to be able to stop the enemy from wreaking havoc on, whether it's deliverance ministry or whether it's prophesying or whatever. That's what that's for. So there's a bigger responsibility, and they're essentially in charge of the lives or the blood of all of these innocent people, because they had to do it in a way that God, not I would say reprimands, but God is in agreement and alignment with. So with astral projection, that's a little bit on the knowing, but on the unknowing, like in my situation where it could be a gift that you inherited from your ancestors. It don't matter who, somewhere in your bloodline, they might have that spiritual gift, and it may could have been passed on to you. Now you're having that spiritual gift. 9 times out of 10, if you have the spiritual gift to astral project, God has a position for you in the spiritual realm to do wonders and work for him. You just don't know it yet, and it's not going to come in the form of astral projection, but that's a key indicator that you were set apart for something. But that's up to you and your relationship with God to seek that, and for God to reveal that to you on what it is that he wants you to do in a spiritual realm for him. So when you unknowingly astral project, it can happen to you whether you just lay down and go to sleep, or in my particular experiences, it happens with me when I go to sleep, and also when I fast. When I fast is the number one prominent of when I astral project the most. Essentially, because that's when my spirit is 20 times stronger, and when you're fasting and you're depriving your flesh. So that's when my body naturally wants to astral project. I had to seek God to give, I won't say deliverance, but I had to seek God in order to help me with that, to not astral project outside of fasting, because I didn't want to sin against him. And even with astral projecting and fasting, I know that I can't go on these long fasts anymore unless it's for a specific thing, and God is calling me to fast for that long period of time, because that's when I astral project the most. But astral projection is dangerous because your soul, your spirit leaves your physical body. When your spirit leaves your physical body, the world is the world is all in the world. It's just different dimensions. So when your spirit leaves your physical body and your spirit is still in the world, it's still just in a different dimension. So if you guys ever seen Insidious, if you ever seen these movies where they talk about the spiritual realm, they're head on. Someone who created Insidious had that interaction in the spiritual realm for them to even know that literally that is exactly how it is when you enter the spiritual realm. You're still physically in the world. It's just your spirit is outside of your body, and you can roam around. You can, engage or interact with other people that's still in the physical realm, just with you not being in your body. And the only way you can do that is through astral projection. So there were particular moments with me when I first started astral projecting unknowingly. It was like I felt my soul, my spirit lift up my body, and I was just looking at my body laying in the bed, and you're in the world, and it's kind of like a misty, smoky, different dimension. So now I just started veering off. I'm like, let me go out this door. Oh, I'm looking in the other room. I'm looking at my son. And I started going far and farther off, away from my body. And then I felt a jolt. And I was so far away from my body that now I gave access. You're vulnerable. When your spirit is outside of your body, anything can access your body and get into your body. If you don't get back to your body and something else gets in, a spirit gets into your body, that's no longer your body anymore. Now you're stuck in the spiritual realm without a body. So I I felt a jolt. And I was so far away. And at the time, I was talking to my coworker. Well, I was in the spiritual realm, but I was so far away that one of coworker of mine that I was really close with at the job, he was, his wife was about to have a baby. He wasn't at work. So I'm talking to him. He's talking to me through the phone, but I'm talking. That's how the spiritual realm works. You don't like physically talk to each other, but like they use communicative devices. So the phone, he was on the phone. He was holding his baby in her nursery, and I'm talking to him. He's like, yeah, I just had the baby today, and this is I'm sitting in her nursery, and I'm like, I know you're sitting in nursery. And I'm describing, I'm like, the walls are green. Excuse me, her packing place on the left hand side. I'm describing it. He like, how you know all of this? Or whatever. And then I just heard my mom's voice. I haven't heard my mom's voice in like 5 years. All I heard was, come here. And once I heard her voice, I immediately was like, I felt like something wasn't right. So as I'm rushing back, I'm like, oh snap, I done ventured so far away from my body. I'm rushing back. I'm trying to get my spirit to rush back to my body. It was something over my body, like trying to get in it. And when I say trying to get in it, that thing was like almost in my body. And I had to fight so hard to get it out my body so that I can get back into my own body. I'm like, no, you do not have permission to be in my body. I don't give consent. Like I was saying everything that I could say. And once I told him that spirit don't have permission to be in my body, I don't give it consent, it flew. Like it can't get in because I didn't give that access to it. So I jumped back in my body and I woke up and I'm like, oh my goodness. Right then and there, I knew the dangers of astral projection, and I knew that I shouldn't have went that far. I shouldn't have veered that far because now I would have been stuck there. My spirit would have been stuck in the spiritual realm, and I don't know how that works, and I don't want to know how that works. Once you're separated from your body and you no longer have your physical body anymore, and you're just a spirit stuck. I don't know how that works anymore. And I was not trying to be stuck there with all them darn spirits and monsters, whatever that they be having, because they be having some creatures in the spiritual realm too. And I wasn't trying to be stuck there now. Next thing you know, I'm a slave to something else. I'm like, no. So I made it imperative then that when I feel myself astral project, I like fight it. Everything in me. And then there were times again where my body just naturally astral projected, but I stopped it immediately. And what I will say, I don't know when it depends on the person, but I feel like maybe in the spiritual realm, when your soul spirit leaves your body, it gives off of like a light, like an attraction, so that the spirits in the spiritual realm they're attracted to it, which makes it even more dangerous that they can hurry up and get in it. Well, if you too far away and you can't get back to your body in time. So just the very last time it happened, the moment I noticed, I'm like, oh, being conscious in the spiritual realm is crazy because I just be over it. I was just like, oh, here we go. So I felt my spirit come out my body. I'm looking at my body, and this time it was a natural pull away from my body. Like people think that once you astral project, you come out your body, and it's a natural thing that pulls your spirit out your body and it pushes it into the spiritual realm. And so once I felt that my spirit was coming out my body and it started to like go out my room, I said, nope. I grabbed onto the door frame and I was fighting that resistance to go back in my body. And as I'm fighting the resistance to get back in my body, I just feel something like this on the side of me. And I'm not thinking right straight. And I'm thinking it's my son that's just poking my body. No, that was a creature. I don't know what that was, but it was poking me to like, oh, something's not in there. Once they realize that, your spirit ain't in your body, That was that was them checking, like, oh, is there something? No one's in there, huh? And that could have been the way for them to get in. So once I felt that poking, now mind you, I feel it in my spirit. Whatever happens to my physical body, you feel it in your spirit, because there's still that connection there. Whether you're outside of your body or not, you're still connected. So I felt the poking, and I'm like, oh crap. So now I'm trying to get back in it quicker and quicker and quicker. So once I got over my body, I just forced myself to go back in my body. And then I like laid in the exact position that I was laying when I went to sleep in. And I just kind of like forced myself to wake up, because I'm like, no. But it is dangerous especially, and it's even more dangerous when you know nothing about astral projection and you do it. That's when I feel like it's the dangerous, because that's somewhere you don't want to be stuck. I'm just telling you that. Like, people, they try to manipulate and they go in the spiritual realm to get these insights from these demons and these spirits, and then they bring it into the physical realm. That's dangerous. And a lot of these people who offer these sacrifices, y'all offering up kids, y'all offering up, blood that y'all don't even know. It's just crazy. So, guys, with that being said, be careful. If you astral project, you don't know how you astral project, but you do it, be careful to try to fight it with everything in you. Unless God physically tells you, I need you for this. There are, positions that God uses people to astral project to save other spirits in the spiritual realm. So that could be a gift. Like I said, it depends on your relationship with God, on what he wants for your life and the calling that he has for your life, and whether or not he wants you to use these gifts, because their gifts are there whether you want them or not, but you have to discern whether it is God wants you to use these gifts or not. You could be blessed with the ability to see and talk to spirits in the physical realm. You could be a medium, but if God doesn't want you doing that and you're doing it, you're sinning against him. That's why you need to be on one accord with God. We are blessed with all types of things. It's just we choose what we use it for. You can be blessed. God could bless you with an amazing voice to be able to sing, but everybody's not called to lead worship. You could be blessed to be able to, understand the Bible enough to teach it to people, but you're not called to be a preacher. You're not so it depends on your calling. You can be blessed with certain things. That don't necessarily mean you just got to be doing what you blessed with. That's your relationship with God. You got to take that up with God and allow God to direct you on what he wants you to do or use with that gift. So, I mean, that's all I got for you guys. There's a lot more when we're diving into the spiritual world versus the physical realm, but I can't share everything with you guys, and I'm going to try to stay away from sharing everything with you guys. I want you to be prepared and I want you to be equipped, but at the same time, the more you know is very dangerous. And I don't want to I want everything that you experience to be your experience. And I want you to have that experience by, experiencing it and taking it up with God first. And then you can come back and we can, it can be relatable to you and things like that. Like, I don't want to entice anybody to do anything. And I don't want people to look at my video and be like, oh, well, she's saying this and she's saying that, but that doesn't happen for me like that. And everybody's situation is different. But the tips and guides that I'm giving you about the spiritual realm, you can without a doubt 100% know in your spirit that what I'm saying is true. It's facts. So yeah, that's everything that I have for you guys in this video. I hope this video helps anyone, if not everyone, who watches this video and comes across it and is interested about astral projection. I pray that it helps you. With that being said, I love you, love you, love you, and I will see you in another one. Bye. Hi guys, if you like this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe.